Revelations chapter 11 and verse 14. The second woe was past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Brachah Wadash. A double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone. We're very well, very beautifully. Double salutations to the Akim out here pushing this gospel in truth and in sincerity to the best of their ability, given to them by Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. A peace, blessings, and salutations be unto the elect scattered abroad. May the election of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Lord willing, fall upon your houses. Amen. So, hey, World War III is right around the corner, man. You know, and we know that at that point, once World War III, starts up, hey, we know that ultimately America is done for, man. You know, and I say that to bring this out because ultimately, it says right here, it says Russia seeks to end U.S. dominated world order, man. And I'm not going to read too much of this, man. It basically gets straight to the point in itself, man. Just in the title. Russia seeking to, basically remove America from the position of power, man. Shit is getting worse, man. The pot is starting to boil, man. It says, I'll read a little bit, man. I'll read the first first four paragraphs. It's not too long, but I'm just going to read the first little bit. It says, Russia's military action in Ukraine is meant to put an end to the U.S.-dominated world order. Russia Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has explained, Washington has been seeking supremacy by imposing ad hoc rules and violating international law, he claimed. In an interview aired by Russian television on Monday, he was referring to America's attempt to impose its own so-called rules-based international order, which have met with strong resistance from Moscow and China. Right, man. So America, and America is doing this on many different fronts. You got the situation that is with China and Taiwan. America and China over Taiwan. Taiwan. When you look at it, there's three major powers in the world, right? So you got America, China, and Russia, right? So these three powers ultimately have, smaller nations that are under their rule, right? Well, you got China, is and has had and is continuing to have rule over Taiwan and neighboring, so-called Asian, countries that are around. You have Russia and like Kazakhstan, and what is that? I think it's Uzbekistan, or I might be wrong on that, but you also have Ukraine and so on and so forth. Those areas Russia has control over, man. America, has, ultimately control over, a lot of the European countries and, Central American countries and so on and so forth, man. So these three powers, when you look at it, they have rule over, smaller countries. And America is ultimately starting to step on the toes of Russia by trying to, set up its, its own government, within Ukraine and trying to have that government, basically separate from that Russian hold and to be a part of, NATO. It's like a NATO, which is, which is part of the beast system, man, which is headed by America, man, and then America's doing the same thing with, with China over Taiwan. America's stepping on the toes of China, trying to have, basically, Taiwan be individual or independent and or partner with America, man. So America's, stepping on the toes of these larger powers, and these powers are coming together, man. Russia and China are coming together, right? It says right here, it says our special military operation is meant to put an end to the unabashed expansion of NATO and the unabashed drive towards full domination by the U.S. and its Western subjects on the world stage, right? So, ultimately, Russia's had it. Really, a lot of these countries have had it. With America's, hypocrisy. Because America will set up certain laws and tell certain countries to follow these laws, otherwise sanctions will be, put on them, but then turn around and not follow their own laws that they have ultimately set up, man. So America is a hypocrite, man. You know what the scriptures say about a hypocrite, man. The scriptures say, that the joy of the hypocrite is but for a moment, man. And well, guess what? America is that, that biggest hypocrite whose moment is coming to an end, right? It says right here, it says the domination is built on gross violations of international law and under some rules, which they are now hyping so much, and which they are hyping now so much, and which they make up on a case-by-case basis, right, man? And so America's, making up rules, and telling these other countries to follow them, but then again, they're not following their own, man. And so, Russia's had it, man. Russia is done with it. Russia says, according to the article, Russia's saying, it's time to remove America from the position of power, which America, has, for a very long time been in that position, man. Matter of fact, let's grab that, because America was, matter of fact, let's just get it, man. Jeremiah 51, I think it's verse 7. It says, Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, right? So Babylon, America, it was that nation that the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai has used to rule over the world and to push a certain, philosophy, that Roman Greco philosophy, man, which ultimately a lot of these nations have received, right? And implemented into their own countries, right? That's why it says, that made all the earth drunken, right? All these nations, right? It says the nations have drunken of her wine, right? They have accepted and implemented that type of philosophy, into their own, right? It says, therefore the nations are mad, right, man? So they're bugged out for doing that, right? And because ultimately this philosophy isn't meant to build, and this philosophy and this lifestyle in America, is ultimately meant to tear down, man. America is, there's no good thing, that America has done. America has done nothing but lie. Would say that he come not but to steal, kill, and destroy, and that's all America does. That's all Esau Edom does, man. And the nations are ultimately realizing that, and then now the nations are, are pissed off, man. And Russia is vocalizing, that frustration with America, and now wants America out of that power seat, man, which is, that's leading to that war, man, that Third World War, Let's grab it, let's grab Joel, and I don't want to make this too long, man. I just want to hit the points, man. This is Joel chapter 3 and verse 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, man. Yeah, war is being prepared, man. Russia is not going to just sit here and, say that they want America out of that power seat, and they're not going to, physically remove America out of that power seat, just going to talk them out of the power seat. No, man. It's going to come to war, man, because America are some of the most prideful people in the world, man. And so they're not going to go down without a fight, man. And as you read in that article, the European Union, there was I can't remember what it is. Joseph Borrell, I can't remember what his position is, but, ultimately saying, they're not, this whole situation has to be settled, by military action, man, and the EU is headed by America. Hey, so you ultimately, the EU and NATO and America have the same type of mindset, man, they're not going down without a fight, man. So again, this is all leading to that world war, that World War III that's coming, man. It says, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up, right? And we're already starting to see that, man. It began, ultimately with, Russia and Ukraine, invading Ukraine, and everything just started to spiral from there, Well, I mean, really, if you go back even further than that, it began with Israel and Gaza, man. The least of the flock starting to draw out, the situations, at hand that build up to that World War III, man. Because Russia jumped into that situation, It wasn't, they didn't take no military action, but they ultimately threatened Israel, and that if they didn't stop, they would take military action, you know, and then ultimately everything from there just started to spiral and roll downhill, man, you know. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong, right, man? You know, it says, assemble yourselves and come all ye heathen and gather yourselves together round about. Round about who, man? Round about Babylon, man, because all these nations are having a problem with who? With mainly who? America, man. Babylon the Great, man. Because America is causing all these fucking problems, man. Spreading this misinformation, saying that nations are doing things when they're not, you know. And America is the number one causer of problems, man. You know, everybody knows that, man. All the nations know that, man. You know. Hey, but now they're, you know, the Lord Yahweh Shem El Shai is putting it in the minds of these nations to, you know, to finally, you know, say, you know what, we're done with it, man. You know. And once they really take physical, you know, action, hey, that's World War III, man. You know. It says, assemble yourselves and come all ye heathen and gather yourselves together round about, cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord, right, man? The Lord Yahweh Shem El Shai is sending down those angels to stir up the minds of these nations, man, to come up against Babylon, man, you know? And I want to grab this. This is Jeremiah 50 and verse 9. It says, for lo, I will raise to cause to come up against Babylon, right, to come up against Babylon, an assembly of great nations from the north country, right, meaning you know, Russia, which is that north country, and Russia's allies, you know, Russia's partners, you know, and even those that were America's allies and partners, man. You know, what you can read about in Revelations, the 17th chapter and the 16th verse, man, that the 10 horns shall hate the whore, man, which is ultimately going into NATO, right? These nations that are partners and allies with America, you know, with everything that's going on, you know, America putting sanctions on Russia, you know, sanctions on, you know, whoever, and that's causing problems, you know, between America and his allies, because a lot of the European countries rely on Russia for their oil and many other things, their wheat, you know, and so on and so forth. So ultimately these nations are looking at America like, hey, you're making bad decisions, man, you know? So these nations see that, and with Russia saying, you know what, we gotta take America out of power, hey, these nations are ultimately gonna partner with Russia, man. So it's gonna be a whole conglomerate of, you know, of nations that were allies with America, that were enemies with America, and still are enemies with America, and so on and so forth, man. You know? It says, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken, right? Their arrows shall be as of a mighty excrement, and none shall return in vain, right, man? That's speaking of those ICBM nuclear missiles, man. You know, speaking of America's destruction, man. You know, because that's what's coming, man. You know, America's destruction is right around the corner, man. You know, and we can't, you know, we can't say it, you know, enough, man. You know, because we want this place to be gone. We want this place to be destroyed, man. And we're hoping and praying to Yahweh Shem El Shai that he speed everything up, man. And then so far, hey, he's hearing our prayers, man. Everything's starting to speed up. Hey, the nations are getting angrier and angry at America, and they're starting. Hey, the more of that, you know, Cold War, Soviet Union type talk is coming from Russia, man, even more, and it's getting heavier and heavier and more drastic for America, man. You know. But I got one more precept and we'll end it out. I think it's in here. Actually, it might be. Perpetual end. Oh, Con. This is Jeremiah 51 and verse 13. It says, "O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures, thine end is come, and thy measures of thy covetousness." Right, man. Hey, thy end is coming, man. You know, hey, when you know, when Russia, you know, makes that move, or when the Lord Yahweh Shem El Shai puts it on, you know, the mind of Russia to make that move, and you're done for, man. When they hit that button, man, many other nations are gonna hit that button, and America, you're gonna be fucking done for, man. You know, hey, so that's what's coming, man. That World War III. You know, the second world is past, and the third world cometh quickly. It's right around the corner, man. You know, it's coming quicker and quicker every single day, man. You know, Lord willing, you know, it happens real soon. You know, so with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem El Shai B'Shem, Baruch HaKodesh, a double honor to the elder apostles, the elder bishops, the great millstone. I'll say shalom till next time.